Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. It's Friday night. Got a bunch of folks on the panel already backstage. Thanks, Ariella. That's awesome. I just want to look real quick here. I appreciate you sharing it out. Hey, Bland's Promised Land Ranch. Thanks for coming in. Lisa Colovi's in the house. Hello, hello, hello. Ormsby Farms is here. Hello, Casey. All right. So we'll wait for the notifications to come out. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to start bringing up guests and see who we have tonight. And let's do that now. So I'm going to bring up Casey at Ormsby Farms.
Hi, Boo Thing.
Hi, Boo. How are you?
Just terrific. I'm in the land of the Wi-Fi.
Awesome. Awesome. I just came back from the dead zone myself. Ryan and I were driving around in the boonies here. Hey, Linda's Prepper Kitchen. I'm going to bring up Tony from Kettle Kitchen. Hey, Tony.
Hello. How are you guys?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Been a long day, but I'm doing good.
Good. Hey, Craig Tim. Hey, Jeannie Lipsky. Hey, Cooking with Charissa. Andale Homestead. Little Ridge Farm. Hey, Ariella Viking Venture and Victuals. Green Granny 2, Denise Pacell, who's got a dog named Yogi, if I remember right. Love it. And I said hello to Linda's Prepper Kitchen. We've got some more folks coming on. I'm just waiting on folks to come up. Hello, crazy people. Little Ridge Farm said, hey, Lori at LG Homestead. It's that time. Whoa, we lost Casey. People will be popping in and out. He's back. Hold on. We got him. I'm going to bring Casey back up. And
I was like, what did I do?
I don't know. Hey,
the thing I love is that now I can point at Casey instead of somebody pointing up at me.
Exactly. Hey, Arizona Kid. Philip, thanks for being here. And hey, Uncle Al, don't you worry about a thing. Take care of what you need to take care of. And my other guest backstage, she knows who she is. Just give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Okay. Hey.
There we go.
Does that feel better now? Because you're not like
I mean,
narrow?
It makes no difference to me.
Oh, okay. Some people tell me it's like kind of weird, like this here when we do this setup, because it cuts people off. So I'm going to put it back.
No,
but
I feel skinnier.
Oh,
I feel like I've slimmed down in that way.
hey, Appalachian American Homestead, Spirit Mouse Media, welcome in, welcome in. So most of you know my guests so far. Yes, good to see you too, Little Ridge. Most of you know my guests so far. Like I said, we've got, I always do it wrong, Tony from Kettle Kitchen, Casey at Ormsby Farms, and we have Jade with Woodlot on Pots from Instagram.
Hello, hello.
So after the live stream, and I will try to do it tonight, I'm going to put a link in for her Instagram page so you can check her out because she's got a lot of great tips and tricks for gardening. She recently did a bee. What do you call it? A bee? I want to call it a bee pot. Hi, little guy.
Oh, yeah. He's supposed to be in bed.
I don't mind if you don't mind. We keep it family friendly.
As long as the little one's not down here, we're good.
You totally get it. Let me just
honestly, it's like a bee or a butterfly hatching station is what I'm going to try to do. We'll see. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And she's also does a lot of thrifty stuff. And I love the way her brain works because I love thrifty stuff too. So we wanted to have her on tonight because she was one of the co-hosts on the May Homestead Challenge. on Instagram that Jade, myself, 5 Dog Farm, which is Nikki, Jesse at Rustic Sodak Farm, Vanessa at Heart Run Homestead, Diane at Shale Hollow
Farmstead,
and Brandy at Farm and Animals did. It's a mouthful. And Casey, hold on. Did that mute while I coughed?
yes.
Okay, last week I yelled bad dog at Diesel and it didn't mute at all. And it was really embarrassing. Anyway, and then Casey provided a runner-up prize from Ormsby Farms. So it was really exciting.
Y'all's announcement video for the winner was so freaking cute. I literally played it like 9 times.
Aww.
Jade, I have to like force Lisa to do this stuff for the podcast. I'm like, okay, Lisa, we're doing this reel. I need you to. What did y'all do to get her to do that? Because she was in it to win it on that video.
She, in fact, first one to post the video too. I mean, like, didn't waste any time.
Hey, Casey.
So,
Most of the time, anyway. And then there's times I drag my feet like none other. So everybody, I'm going to put in Jade at Woodlot on Pots, Instagram. I'm just going to post that link for you guys. There you go. I'm going to see if I can put that up, pin it. I can probably pin it. Hang on. Pin message. So I'm going to pin it at the top of the chat. We lost Tony. Let me go back to the chat for a minute before we get started because a bunch of people came in. Let's see here. Hey, Mountain Grandma. Glad to have you here, Tammy. Glad to have all y'all here. Hey, Matthews Patch, welcome in. And Appalachian American Homestead. I did say hello to you earlier, but I want to make sure. Sometimes I miss people and I feel bad because the chat just scrolls so quickly. Lisa Colovi's dropping links like a mad woman. Thank you so much. Love my moderators. Hello, Berkshire Farm. Thank you for being here.
Lisa's the bomb at dropping links. When I tell you she's like the fastest person ever on the planet, she must have like some like magical power that nobody else knows about for dropping links. Because I get struggle bus. You know, you got to copy and paste it. I try to be a good moderator when people ask me to moderate, but I'm like, just get somebody else because I suck.
Little Ridge Farm says I'm in bed and I'm not little LOL. I'm sure by the time I get to the bottom of the chat, people are going to say Lisa's the worst moderator ever because she timed out Ann Dale one time on Bland's. I at least contacted Ann Dale and told her I was sorry. Other times people blamed it on me and I swear it wasn't me. Hey, Don Ray B, and thanks, Arizona Kid. Yes, 28 people, 13 thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, y'all. All right, let's see here. Hey, Garden at Table with Heather Lynn. Hello, Leanne, Mennonite Farmhouse. Hey, Christy Baum. No worries, Leanne, whenever you're done. Hey, Gary and Cindy from Pathways Homestead in Kansas. Hey, Rebecca is Touched by Yarn and More. And you guys, just so you know, Rebecca is Touched by Yarn and More. She changed the name of her channel around, so you know that is still Rebecca, the hat lady. Let's see here. Just want to get down to the bottom of the chat. Oh, I was just going to say hey to Ormsby Farms. Oh, Anne. Thank you, Anne.
No, go to bed.
All right. Let's see.
I love the dog in the background. How cute. He's on the bed.
Where? Oh, his background. I was like, there's no bed behind me. I was like a little puzzled.
That's where I want to be, but I'm solo parenting this weekend, so.
Yep.
We're going to get up in the morning and hit some yard sales. Mama needs more things in the garden, so that's where we're going to hit up tomorrow.
Nice. I like it,
Yeah.
Jade. I like it.
That's my favorite yard sales. Oh
Love
my
it.
gosh.
Love it.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ryan loves him some online auctions, and he's gotten me into it. Now, I won't do it on my own. I won't look at it. But when we went to buy the tractor, he had a number, and he was pretty firm on it. And I said, I just like sat there like the devil's advocate. I'm like, how much? Like, how much would it go for new? And I was like,
Yeah.
Stop being so cheap. We need a tractor. But it was funny. You know, it's like you get caught up in it.
oh yeah.
Because every time you bid, then it gives the other person who's bidding so much time, and you get a notification every time. So it's like you're sitting there like waiting for the bing, bing, bing. It was like 45 minutes.
So you know,
I've never
Lisa,
done one of those.
I blame Ryan because, you know, when we first started our podcast, you told me about Ryan and his auctions. I was like, okay, I'm going to look one up. So I signed up for a land auction. This is before we bought our homestead. And I didn't really know how auctions worked. It was really addicting. It's a good thing that obviously I never won an auction. But it's literally you're online like bidding for a sight unseen of farmland. It was so addicting. If people had money, I'd be broke. I'd be like, yeah, 300,000, put it down.
Yeah, thanks, Gwen. Broke Cowgirl, appreciate you. No worries. Yeah, it's really crazy. He was literally looking at a piece of property that was on one, and we were watching it. Hey, cool gamer, we were watching it, and it was low. That thing skyrocketed the day of because that's what everybody's playing.
Mm-hmm.
And it still looked the same. Nobody's done anything to it. But so we're waiting on some guests to come on. I know some folks are busy eating supper and stuff like that, but I wanted to talk about, growing your own food. And Jade, I'm going to let you go first because you're new to a lot of folks here compared to like Casey and myself. So like, just remember safety wise, don't talk about where you live. State wise is fine if you're comfortable, but just basically like, what state you're in, if you feel comfortable saying how many acres you're on and what you're growing.
Okay.
We love Jade.
Mm-hmm.
We started out on land that was deeded from family. I lived in Alabama, and I was basically brought up here from my father-in-law saying, hey, I'll give you this land if you come up here, and be closer to everybody. So I did. I'm 1,000 miles away from everybody that I ever grew up with. And now we have land. And it started out with me and the husband. Now we have 2 boys. The garden started out as a little postage stamp. I mean, it's tiny on a hill. Had no idea what I was doing at all. Still don't half the time. Just try anything new. Well, now it's humongous. The garden has really gotten huge, and I've just made it a place where I like to go and get away, and it's my happy place. The kids know if mom's not in the house, they check either the chicken coop or the garden because that's where mama's going to be. And that's how the growing our food started. Recently, we did get into pigs. We raised 2 pigs. We'll never go back to store-bought pork ever again. Ever. Never.
What breed?
The pork, we had Yorkshire and another mix. They're 2 heritage breeds. And the pork chops taste just like sirloin steaks. Like, I never knew that could be a thing, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll never go back to that. We did meat birds. This is our second year for the meat birds. First year, had no idea what we were doing, so we brought family in, and we just spent a day butchering and processing. Well, this year, there's been more kids born in the family, so I didn't want to depend on everybody. So the husband and I, we did it all ourselves. And it was such a learning experience for us to just have each other to depend on to do that. So, so far we're gardening.
Sorry, there must have been a little glitch. I had a big flash and everybody went away. So sorry about that. So Jade,
That's okay.
I apologize. You were saying
I don't know where it ended up, but the last
you said
part,
depending on each other.
Yes, we had to depend on each other for this last harvest, and it really brings into perspective what all goes into raising and butchering and processing your own food when you just have yourself to depend on for that. Husband's still not on board to keep doing it, but I am. So if I have to keep doing small batches myself, that's what I'll do, because I love the process. I love to start from something so small, nurture it, and then you know where it comes from. You know what goes into it. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that.
You can't.
So,
you can't.
You can't.
And so people in the chat, Mountain Grandma said, Jade, love this story.
Aw.
Also, Little Ridge Farm said take two. Yeah, I have no idea what that was. That's not like me.
If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen with me. Always.
Oh, yeah,
always.
I always joke that my internet is amazing. So tonight it's going to show me otherwise. I had
That's
one
okay,
problem.
because I've been sitting here thinking it was invaded by Casey's country internet.
Yeah. To my knowledge,
brought it
Jade
down.
is not on YouTube, right? You're just Instagram, correct?
No, I promise you would be so bored following me around every day. You truly would.
Thank you, Dawn. I found Dawn
I
Raby on Insta. What's that, Boo?
I said I wouldn't be bored watching Jade all day on YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's what's funny is when you actually realize. I mean, some of the channels I look up at on YouTube, I'm like, really, this doesn't seem like it. But you'd be amazed at the number of people that follow them to watch that.
Well, the thing is, like nowadays, people aren't living on farms. Like they're in apartments and these condos, and they don't get to see animals and all this. Like they don't know that there's pigs other than pink pigs, or cows other than the white and black cows that you see. And that blows my mind, really. It really does. But I mean, that's just how things are now. So I get it. I really do.
Yeah, for sure. I did a video today, and I got through a lot of the comments today. I've got a bunch more I've got to do, but you're right, Pathways. There's no comparison to raising your own food at all. I did a video on loss on my channel today, and the reason why I did it is because we've experienced a lot of it lately. And I feel like people who are new to this lifestyle don't realize the depth of it. They don't realize that it can be emotional and financially devastating. And so that's why I talked about it, because we've had half of our flock killed. We've had countless turkey chicks that we hatched die, healthy 1 minute, dead the next. All that were planned for meat birds. It's the reality. We talked about that. And one of the examples that I brought up was there was a winter storm. Not a winter storm, excuse me, a spring storm, Atlas here, that dropped 58 inches of snow in South Dakota under 10 years ago. And I put the number in the video, but I can't remember the number. But the bottom line is the snow came down with hurricane force winds and killed cattle, livestock, and horses across the state of South Dakota. And it was financially devastating, and also devastating like families who depended on that cattle, whether it was sales or meat or whatever, however it was working out for them, And so that was why I brought it up, because I feel that people sometimes look at it as piglets and sunshine.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is that sows can eat their pigs, right?
Yeah.
And, that's why even when I talk about having the piglets, right, I'm still learning this. We may come to July and August and I may not have piglets because something could happen, or maybe it never took. I don't know. But I want the reality to be out there for people, because I constantly get the question, how do you deal with processing? Like, how do you deal with killing animals? And I'm like, well, I'm not killing something, first of all. I'm processing or dispatching something because it's suffering. It needs to be put out of its misery, and that's hard to do, but it has to be done. You have to do the work, carry on, move forward. Thoughts on that?
Well, I just wanted to say, Lisa, because me and you have talked off of social media about all of this, and I think you handled it beautifully. I think from somebody like you, an influencer, to hear these kind of things and for you to share as much as you've shared is very honorable. Because a lot of YouTubers, and I will say myself included, like to hide a lot of the bad stuff that happens because it doesn't make it pretty for your channel. It doesn't make it beautiful. It doesn't get you those followers. And for you to share what you've shared is very commendable. So I first just want to say that.
Thank you.
And that I love Left Eye. I loved her.
I did too. I hate that she's gone. She was just the sweetest thing ever. I actually looked forward to calling her Left Eye as she grew up.
I think the other thing that, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
The other thing that goes along with what Casey says, and I think it's important, and it's what's impressing me, is more and more how channels are doing exactly what he said and what you did do. And I know I'm learning for myself. Leave the mistakes in there. That's what makes you real. That's what makes you not the Food Network or Life on the Farm on MTV or whatever you want to call it. Point being is that the realism is what people are wanting to see. They don't want to see the fake stuff. They want to know that Casey and me and everybody on the panel make mistakes as we go along, because that's what makes it real. So
yeah. Hey, Barb's Country Home, and Gwen, I'm sorry that I scared you. I can tell you my chickens have been on. Oh, hi, Barb's Country Home. I put it in 2 comments. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, when the chickens were killed, I mean, I just wanted to be honest, and one of the things that I said was I was angry. I've never felt that angry before in my life, because it wasn't a coyote. It was an animal that didn't belong here. And I'll leave it at that. But the bottom line is, I wanted to be real. Like, the anger was real, because those are my babies that I raised that give us eggs. We sell their eggs. And I think people just need to realize that sometimes, they're like, oh, well, what are you worried about if they passed away, because you were going to process them anyway? Well, that's my food for my family, and that's not.
And that's not even here nor there when people make certain comments like that. I'm very vocal about nasty comments, especially on my channel. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm very outspoken and say a lot of stuff, because we're keeping it family friendly.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, right? Guys, my thing is, it's always the trolls that don't live this lifestyle that swear they know everything about what you're doing and what you should have done.
Because to them, cows are black and white and pigs are only pink.
Right.
They don't know.
True.
Right. Mm-hmm. Correct.
They don't
And the
know.
realness, I mean, I'm probably on the panel, I'm the newest to the homesteading lifestyle. And what caught my No, Tony, I think so. I think I beat you, Tony. How long? Yeah?
Okay, you want the honesty of it, and now
Huh?
you're ready for an education. I haven't even started yet.
Bam.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. You win.
My
Well, only
video was for
because-
you.
Sorry.
My video was for you then.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I get what you're saying. But I mean, we're getting to a point where we're all at different stages in the homesteading process, and I'm here to tell everybody I'm starting from scratch. So
Right.
go ahead and finish, though.
I was just going to say that I was drawn into the realness of seeing. I won't name the channels that I started watching off before, because I don't come from homesteading background. I come from television entertainment.
I don't
That's what
either.
I did.
I don't either.
And I was like, oh my God, I felt so incomplete with my life. I mean, I had a good job. I was making money. I had anything that I wanted, but I still felt incomplete. And then I started watching homesteading videos. And for some crazy reason, learning how to make chicken broth touched me so deeply. Yeah? But I was like, I want to learn how to can. I want to learn how to do this. And of course, it's when we all know cinnamon vanilla happened, and we had nothing to do but watch YouTube and learn stuff.
There's a code word, Jade. Cinnamon vanilla.
I have never heard that, but I am stealing it. I love that.
I just want royalties, Tony. That's all.
Okay.
So, but then when I started doing it, the whole felt complete. It is a beautiful lifestyle, but a lot of people, we talk about this on our podcast constantly. A lot of people glamorize homesteading because of the beautiful Pinterest pictures or the Instagram, chicken sweater kind of thing. That's not real life. But the real part of the life is loss. It is I'm trying to think of the best word, processing your animals for meat. If you're not a meat eater, you're still processing the plants. And if you think about it, if you come for us on, oh, y'all are meat eaters killing something, you're actually pulling the tomatoes from the plant, which is a living thing.
Yep.
So that's killing that side of the tomato. So you're kind of doing the same thing. Just saying. So I just think that the real homesteading stuff, like Lisa, what you put on your channel, is so beautiful because people need to see it. Newbies need to know. They need to know all the information before they make that jump because it's not a cheap lifestyle at first. It's not an easy lifestyle. So know what you're getting into before you get into it. So that was
but I think what goes along with that too is like I've said on a bunch of my lives lately is trying the beauty I find, at least with YouTube, and I'm not excluding Instagram because I'm getting into Instagram, which you guys know that, but the crossover that's happening, sorry, I'm trying to put my fingers back, the crossover that happens between farming, homesteading, canning, cooking, gardening, farming, I mean, I could keep on going and going and going. It's like we're all doing this. We're overlapping each other. And the benefit from me, especially what you just said about, when Casey was talking about being new to it, I tried the gardening thing and it didn't work out, but that didn't stop me from the canning part of it. Along the way, as I'm going, and I'm still at the point where I can't put stuff in the ground because we had frost possibly the other night. So I'm still sitting here waiting. I mean, I've been waiting for 3 months to do it, but I can't move forward. Point being, though, is that I'm learning and watching all you guys so I can see where the flaws are, what not to grow, what to grow that I would use or that I wouldn't use. And then I can process that into my canning that I do later down the road. So I think the beauty of it is just that we're helping each other while we're helping each other's channels, but more so to the homesteading part of it, we're learning little tidbits and bits from everybody as we watch them.
For sure, for sure. Hey, Jerry Carpenter's Self-Reliance. And Jade and Tony, I'm sorry the comments, when I post them on the screen, they go across your faces. I'm trying to figure out how to change that. But
best color to put at the bottom of the screen is pink because it stands out. If it covers my mouth, I'm okay with that.
But yeah, Monica said, or Monica and Eric said, loss is such a big part of this lifestyle. It's something that a lot of folks don't want to hear about, which is true. And like one of the things that I identified was, you sit there for 28 days waiting on those babies to hatch, right? I knew my second batch was not gonna do well, but I got 2 out of it, even though the eggs are older, and little left eye was so cute, and they're gone. So it's like, it just stinks because they were fine one minute, gone the next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to talk about, and SD Mountain Man had a question, I think. So let me just go to that before we move on. Yes, Matthews Patch, having to euthanize your stock has got to be a heartbreaker. I think SD Mountain Man said he wanted help on canning echinacea. The asparagus. I'm sorry. Do you know anything about that, Tony? Oh, wait a minute. Wow.
There's double.
What just happened?
Really, Lisa, if you don't want me on the show, just tell me, okay?
Canning asparagus. Do you know anything about that?
Yes. What would you like to know? I must have missed something because I didn't catch what the question was about it.
SD Mountain Man Scott wants to know about canning asparagus. He said he needs help with it. I don't know if he needs some feedback or.
Well, is it something he needs right this second? If he doesn't need it right this second, he's more than welcome to email me, and I will gladly have a conversation with him about it.
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to make the connection.
Yeah.
So one more question, and then we're going to move on to talk about growing our own. So Berkshire Farm says they want to raise 2 pigs. What is the best breed you think is good for a beginner? What time of year to start? So I know for us, so this is the general ways that I look at it. A lot of people get feeder pigs, right? And they get feeder pigs in the spring, and then they dispatch them by November. And it requires usually the commercial breeds because they'll grow quicker. So like Monica at Bland's Promised Land Ranch said, look at where you are, determine the space that you have. They raise Tamworth and Red Wattle Heritage, great for all around meat, less fat. That's the thing too. You need to know your space, but I'm looking at just the basics. So usually you can get like, they have the heritage breeds that grow quicker versus my Coonies, which will take a lot longer to grow out. So what we did was raise 2 feeder pigs, and now that's why we're breeding the Coonies. So by the time a Cooney piglet is ready, we'll be out of pork by then. But we raised 2 Mangalitsa Duroc and Berkshire crosses, and the only reason we raised those was getting hogs around here was impossible in 2020 or 21, right? 21, because we had to build the pig pen. So yeah, it turned out to be a great breed because the Mangalitsa added some fat to it that we enjoyed. But they were just incredible pigs. But they were both, I think they totaled about 600 pounds, and then we got about 410 or 413 pounds of pork from it. So, oh, we got another guest. Let me just bring them up. Ready, my guest backstage? Hello, Daz.
I wasn't doing anything.
I know. I saw this.
Yes.
G'day, everybody.
G'day. Daz, you know everybody on screen except for Jade, and above you is Jade from Woodlot
G'day,
on
Jade.
Pots from Instagram.
Hello.
Hi. I'm just here because Casey's here. Sorry, Jade.
No
Good day.
offense taken.
Good day.
There we go.
No.
I had to move you around because there was a big box that said dragged or something to toggle, and it wouldn't go away, and I was tired of it blocking your eyes.
No. Is my audio okay?
Yeah, seems fine.
All right, cool. Because I broke my microphone last week. And then I didn't realize I did a whole live stream with the microphone turned backwards. So when I watched the replay, I was mortified that it was all echoey and everything from me. It was terrible.
Daz, all you
Yes.
have to do is be honest with us and tell us you preferred the Pepsi over the Coke. It's okay.
Oh, wow. That was crazy. That was...
Frozen Coke.
I love it.
Oh,
Well,
Lisa knows that's my weakness, the frozen Coke. But yeah, just quickly for anyone that doesn't know, I just put out a video where I did a test. Pepsi sent me a taste test, and I thought I knew Coke and Pepsi and that very well, like I think a lot of people would. But in a blind test, I honestly had no idea. I really could not tell you what was Coke, what was Pepsi, and then it was a Pepsi branded test, and I chose the Coke. So sorry, Pepsi.
Yes!
So
I think what I loved about that is the honesty, because you went through that and stated it the way you did, and I thought, you know what, it's a Pepsi product, but he's being honest about it. It didn't taste as good as the Coke did. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Well,
Thanks.
Pepsi
Well,
doesn't. Pepsi's nasty. Sorry, Leanne. I saw Leanne was all Pepsi. Pepsi's gross. I'm a Southern boy. It's all about Coke.
but
I like Coke.
Yeah, I thought what was cool about that was it really did bring up debate. Like, I don't want to take this off topic, but people are like, hey, I'm all about Coke or I'm all about Pepsi. Like, it's a topic. It's like people have opinions on this. It was so funny. Like, even now in chat and us talking ourselves here, it was yeah, Coke or Pepsi. Like, put on your boxing gloves, everybody. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, Daz, when somebody says Dr. Pepper. And you're like, you do know that one of those companies actually owns Dr. Pepper, so it's not really a competition. Just
Now-
putting it out there.
As a Southern boy, do you like cheer wine?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the only Southerner, duh. What was the question?
Do you like cheer wine?
I don't know what that is.
Are you kidding me? It's all over North Carolina. I used to love it.
Well, I kind of lived in the hood before I lived in the boonies, so
All right.
we were just kind of Coronas.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
I'm sorry, Lisa. You've had such... Sorry to cut you off.
No.
Oh, no, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. You've had such a good conversation so far, and then I came on,
No.
and I'm looking at chat in the other monitor at the moment, and it's all Coke versus Pepsi.
I know. It's okay. It's okay. I haven't watched your video yet because I have not been watching anything because I have been busy outside lacing the darn chicken wire together.
I think Coke needs to sponsor Daz. I'm just putting it out there. Like,
No.
Coke, go pay
Yeah.
Daz some money.
So
But enough about me. No.
So
enough.
I just want to explain to Gwen what cheer wine is. Cheer wine is like Dr. Pepper, only it is, I want to say lighter in flavor, but it's
thought you were
good.
asking about real wine. Well, now
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
not
stupid
wine.
Now I feel stupid for saying Corona. So thank you, Lisa, for not texting me.
Cinnamon vanilla. If you want to talk about the beer, you still have to call it cinnamon vanilla because they made it. Because like Instagram, when all the farmers talk about the V word,
Yeah.
everything gets branded with the cinnamon vanilla, and it has nothing to do with it. They're talking about cattle. Drives me insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's talk about growing our own food.
Mm.
Oh, you cannot say cheer wine is like Dr. Pepper to a
I
text.
just read that.
And then Arizona Kid said, Dr. Peeper is a favorite of mine, but I have family in Texas. I just had to get Philip give him a hard time.
Oh,
Thanks, Lazy Days Ahead. You guys are hilarious. So anyway, I only wanted to start with that because I wanted people to know that I am okay with the whole loss thing. I just did the video because I felt it was very important to do.
Mm.
I won't yell bad dog at him. I wanted to make sure that, people got the message. The message was really because I was worried about other people walking into something and not realizing that week after week after week of it gets old after a while. So
I'm glad you guys touched. Oops, sorry.
Troubles here, but go ahead.
Oh, no, I just want to say I'm glad you guys touched on the subject of authenticity because, like, no offense, Casey, but Casey was sort of saying, I like to shy away from that stuff because of, whatever reason that Casey has, this and that and everything. And I get that. That's fine and everything. And then, but looking at it from the other point of view, I like the way that people include things to let everyone else know that it's not a perfect world out there when it comes to gardening or raising animals and stuff like that. And unfortunately, you don't want to be sending the wrong message to everyone that it's all happy smiles and dancing and rainbows and stuff. There's unfortunately things that happen.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
I want
to try not to do it nowadays. I try not to be too perfect. I try not to be too perfect.
No, I wasn't a criticism on you, Casey, because
I put myself into that for saying it. But no, I try to be not as editing. Like a bad thing is I forgot to edit Lisa's whispering on one of our podcasts.
Okay.
So our first podcast of the second season comes out, and all of the hosts, me, Monica, Lisa, Alicia, were listening. And then about halfway, we hear Lisa go, "I forgot how long we've been shooting." And I forgot to cut it out. I was like, oh my God, it's going out to like thousands of people to listen to. But hey, they love us. And so now I know. Don't edit it out. Hi, Leanne.
Hi, Leanne. Sorry, you looked like you were ready, and I was trying to get your attention. And
it's the animals. You can't control them.
It was nothing awkward. Don't worry. You were just holding a cat, which is normal.
In my part of the world, yes, that's normal.
No worries, Mountain Grandma. So, Leanne, I just wanted to introduce you to Jade from Woodlot on Pots up top there.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
That is Leanne. And yes, Jilly at Belly Acres, that was my dog barking because my husband walked outside, and that's usually what happens because he wants him to go out there with him.
I thought the dog was barking at Leanne coming in the room.
No. Diesel loves me.
Yeah. Diesel spent many hours watching Leanne's channel. And I took pictures and sent them to her. So let's talk about growing our own food.
Yes. I have 10 minutes before I have to take my supper out of the oven.
Yeah. And no worries at all. You do what you got to do. Philip at Arizona Kid is right. He said it's tough to be 100% real. Sometimes people just want the sunshine. It can be hit or miss. And that's exactly the thing. I could have, and I don't want to talk about the video the whole night, but I just want to say that, like, I also have to follow guidelines in my video, right? So I can be real, but it's not like I could describe to you some of the things I really wanted to describe to you.
Yeah.
But I think that I did it enough where you got the picture. And so there, because, I've got some other real feelings on the subject. I can't say it, but y'all know what I mean when you're a farmer. So we'll leave it at that.
Yep.
So Casey, let's talk growing food. What are you growing this year?
Weeds. No. We're doing tomatoes. We're doing, I'm trying to go through the garden. Tomato, peppers, 2 different types of cucumbers, 4 different types of squash, eggplants, corn, and then, of course, our orchard, which has a lot. I know, Tony, that was... Okay, so Tony, funny story. When I went into this garden season, I'm like, I'm going to do like a 3,000 square foot garden, and it's going to be just exactly like all of the big YouTube channels that do it, and it's going to be perfect, and everything's going to come out great. And then I put all the plants in, and watering at night takes about an hour and a half. And I'm like, why did I plant this many plants? Like, seriously, yeah? And that's just the garden. We're not talking about the orchard or the corn or watermelons, but we're growing a lot. But we are growing weeds, Lisa, a lot of weeds.
Hey, Nancy, our treasured home. Hey, No Parts Garage.
Hi,
Welcome
Nancy. So we're trying to do 85% of what we eat veggie and fruit wise for the year. That was the goal going into it. We wanted to be 100% self-sustainable on the homestead between myself, my mother, my brother, and his fiance. And since we're not doing meat this kind of go round, we said 85% of veggies and fruit, because I seem to kill lettuce. I will look at lettuce and it will die. I like walk by a lettuce plant and it falls over. So there's a couple, right? See, Leanne, I was like commenting on yours on your video because I was like, if I could just like steal some of Leanne's and bring them down to Georgia. And
I was
then
going to say
it'd
you
be
should
great.
grow in Georgia just like Lisa. Maybe you can get some lettuce.
Spoiler
what I was
alert.
thinking.
I may be doing that. Spoiler alert.
I have to admit, I actually told her that I want to steal half of what you got and bring it up here. So,
But it's weather too. I think, one thing that I'm learning is, in different zones, people can, their crops are going to look completely different than yours. And if I was to try to be like Leanne, we're in like completely different zones and weather. So I have to stop trying to be like, oh, I'm going to be like this YouTuber because they're in the north and I'm in 91 degree Georgia.
I think that talking about that, I think that is important to kind of hone in on the sites and the YouTubes that are closer to you, because everything grows in different zones differently. Like they're not gonna, like I'm in Pennsylvania, it's not gonna grow the same for you as it would for me. So you need to kind of find the people that are in your zones. That way you can bounce ideas off of one another.
So yeah, I think that's a good point. And Leanne, I think will be fine with me sharing this, but we talk. And bye, Jeannie Lipsky. Thanks for being here. We talk through the winter and like our weather is very much different. And, we commiserated about winter weather and stuff. And I know Leanne experienced in her location some record low temperatures. And for us, we experienced some record lows this year. And it's like they are far different from each other. And it's just a reminder of, it creates a lot of havoc for folks, Does anybody have a suggestion for Berkshire Farm for hornworms? Because they're eating the tomatoes. I don't
know if, sorry, but I don't think we have them here in Australia. It's not something that I've seen or see other Aussies talk about. I see them in plenty of videos from people in the US, horrid looking things, and chickens love them. I don't know whether having free-ranging chickens helps.
A lot of people, they go out at night with like, I guess they're like the black lights or whatever that you used to have back in the day with the posters that glow in the dark, whatever light that was. You go out at night with one of those and they like glow in the dark is one way I've heard to find them.
Yeah. And Dale said, go out at night with a black light was what you just said. And Scott at SC Mountain Man, now he's on the eastern side of the state. I'm on the western, more towards the southern side of the state. So, for example, today I think we're in the 50s, right? Because we're over 5,300 feet here. And late in the day, Ryan and I took a ride and we went down towards more of the prairie areas right by us, okay, about an hour from us. And it was like almost 70 degrees. Right? But what's the trade-off, right? Because then in the wintertime, they're wide open. There's no trees blocking the wind. It's howling through there with snow. The rain is much different. And so like Scott at SD Mountain Man, he talked about the weather being so different between him and me. And I know that when I I went to pick up the pigs, which is Sherman, Eleanor, and Fiona. They were all on the eastern side of the state, about 8 hours from us, because that's how big South Dakota is. And it was really wild because we were expecting a major snowstorm when we picked up Sherman. And we were fighting to do this drive in one day there and back, and also to take care of animals. And when we got back to our area, it was snowing like none other, and it rained the whole time out there. So it's just wild. And I know they also had tornadoes out on the other side of the state.
Hey, Lisa, can I say I just saw something in the chat that I was on the hornworm situation for the tomatoes. I spray with the BT preventively. So even before I see the hornworms, I'm spraying it. But I also, Monica had said about dill, I also plant dill around my tomato plants because that does attract the hornworms away from your tomato plants. So they attack, I mean, yes, you're giving the dill plants to the wolves, but it's less money to lose dill than it is from losing tomatoes. So I saw that she had commented that, so I didn't know if you had seen that, but dill and BT is the best.
No problem. I'm going to go to the chat for a minute. So Scott, you're saying that winter we have it better. We have more snow, but better temps. So do you guys get down to like -30 often? Because I thought it was warmer on your side of the state. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll wait for you to comment while I'm looking here. Let's see here. I just want to go real quick. Bland's Promised Land Ranch. No, I actually snatched them off my dill easier than on my tomatoes.
That's too much work for me, girl.
Hey, Georgia Suburban Homestead. Black Swallowtails love dill. Belly Acres says my weather is different from my front yard to my backyard. Yep. I just want to go back here real quick. Hornworm poop looks like little cylinders of greenish pellets. Look at Ann Dale. Let's see here. Okay, I think I caught everything. So, Daz, you look like you had something to say.
Oh, really? No, I was just thinking it, and I was looking right at you, Casey. No.
So Casey talked about all he's growing, and I'm really super incredibly proud of you because I know you always call yourself a newbie, which you need to stop doing. Because you know me, I love
Tony is the newbie. I can't say that anymore.
I love a good experiment. You know that I'm like Jade. You know, she says you just keep doing it. Yeah, I'll keep doing it. Except onions, I'm done this year if that don't happen. But Daz?
Oh, sorry, I didn't want to talk over anybody. No, just sorry. While we're just still near that topic of the hornworms, there was a slight mention of something that really I noticed was companion planting. That's probably something when we're talking about growing and everything. That's it came up about the dill and the tomatoes, and companion planting is probably something at some point we should probably discuss too, because it helps out so much with putting. Sorry, Leanne's gonna laugh at me here, but putting basil next to tomatoes, for instance, not basil. So that's the accent thing. But
I like basil better.
So the companion planting was a really good sort of topic to touch on at some point.
And so Jade, do you want to talk about what you're growing this year? What kind of food you're growing for your family? Hey, Lori.
Sure. This year I am trying peanuts for the first time. Alabama girl trying peanuts. They better grow, even though I'm 1,000 miles away from where they should be growing. I've given up on cucumbers. We're close enough to Amish farms. I can just go to them to get it without fussing with them because I just can't grow them. I'm no good with lettuce either, so no lettuce. Lots of beans and peas this year. We're going to do a lot of those because that's what we eat. I've learned over the years to grow what you eat and don't waste real estate on things that you do not eat. Just don't do it. I grew pumpkins last year. Again, not going to do that because I can just go to the Amish market and get those cheaper and use the real estate they would take up for something we eat. Tomatoes, we're growing those, but I'm only going to do paste tomatoes because I know we don't use the slicing tomatoes fast enough, so I'm not wasting time on those. Potatoes, gotta have our potatoes. I'm trying quinoa for the first time this year. I don't really eat quinoa, but I'm doing a challenge to see if I can grow it and if we like it. What else do we have? Okra. I love okra, so we're going to grow that again. Corn for popcorn. Corn for eating is not worth it to me because you have to keep an eye on the critters and the pests, and I am a no spray person, so I will go to someone that is good at growing that and get it from them. I always say that if it does not bring you joy, do not waste your time on it. And corn, cucumbers do not bring me joy, so we will not be growing that. So we are going to do flowers this year for cut flowers, but the chickens scratched up a lot of the seeds, so we may not have a lot of those. But we're trying it. We're going to see how it goes and if it's worth doing in the future.
Awesome. Yeah. It's the same thing here. You know, we have this short window of a growing season. You know, we're still waiting on our last frost date like Tony is. I've got all my seedlings outside. They're hardened off. They're on the porch so that way frost doesn't hit them. I was even covering up stuff in my greenhouse because we were in the upper teens and 20s for a while there. Now we're in the 30s and 40s. But even the other night, it was forecasted to be 40 degrees. And so that's a night where you go, I don't have to worry. We're far enough away. We woke up in the morning and it was 33. So luckily everything in the greenhouse is fine. I've got blossoms on my tomatoes indoors. They don't seem to be doing much now. I kind of look at that, and then we've got blossoms also in the greenhouse. But, you know, you look at radishes, right? Radishes are a quick crop. I've had them in the ground since March, and I'm getting leaves, but I don't have a lot of fruit. You know, but we've planted some things. I just want to go to the chat real quick. SD Mountain Man said, geez. Yeah, we're still cold. Hey, Ark Wildman Survival. Hey, Nora the Stock Explorer.
If I could throw in real quick, you were talking about how you had you were planning on the 40-degree night and then it dropped down to 33. I think the other thing people, at least we do around this area here where I live, it might be 40 degrees, but what's the wind? The wind also plays into that because it will drop the temperature as well. If I'm correct, anybody who knows better than I do can throw in, but I watch the wind as well as the temperature both.
Agreed.
And humidity.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I've been covering everything up most nights, and Dale says all our radishes look like toothpicks. Yeah, mine too, but they've been in the ground for months. But yeah, hey, Old Swedes Farm. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, you know, you're growing stuff, but again, it's all about an experiment, right? I started growing in the greenhouse. Good night, our treasured home. And I was not going to get this far with tomato seedlings that I planted March 9th and have them die in the greenhouse because I was too lazy to cover them, you know. Daz, how about you? What do you got growing on for your food? Because I know it's fall by you.
Winter.
Winter.
Yeah. So for anybody that doesn't know, us people down here in the southern hemisphere are always the opposite to everyone in the northern hemisphere. So we just went into winter on the 1st of June. So yeah, for me it's mainly brassicas. So I've got broccoli, collie, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. I've got my onions and garlic in. I've got various types of beans, peas, sugar snap peas, snow peas, shelling peas. My chilies. I think everyone overseas says hot peppers. My chilies and jalapenos are still fruiting at the moment, which is fantastic. Under the grow light at the moment, I've got about, as I look behind me to make sure the light's on, I've got about 50 baby celery growing. I've never been able to grow celery. It's failed every year. But this year, I don't know what I've done, but it's worked. So I'm planning on dehydrating and long-term storing a massive amount of celery and celery powder. And then there's things like lettuce. I don't know what it is, guys. I can actually grow lettuce without. I can wave a packet near the pot and lettuce bursting out of the packet.
Oh,
There's no skill there. Trust me. I don't know what it is. But I will accept it. Thank you.
Do you get yours to bolt and then form seeds, and then the seeds will go into the ground and it just regrows the next year? Like
I do actually have a grow bag of of lettuce that does that. But no, I usually grow from seed. But yes, I do have one particular grow bag that does that. Yeah,
I got something to show you. So keep on going. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Just remember, it's a family-friendly stream.
I was about to say, do I need to clutch my pearls?
Monica's not here. We're good.
Oh, that's right. Whew.
I thought she was in the chat. I thought it was Alicia you got to worry about.
I was about to say, I think, is it Monica or is it Eric in the chat? I didn't see exclamation points. So it may be Eric.
Ooh, okay.
Well, hi, Troy from By Ridge Farm.
So, yeah, my orchard is pretty much done. So, as far as like my plums, peaches, pears, and stuff like that are done. But at the moment, we're picking apples, beautiful Pick Lady apples, and oranges still have got a way to go. Lemons are starting to ripen. So, yeah, we're in that time of year that's, yeah, I guess all the stuff that you're not growing because, yeah, you've got your tomatoes and all that sort of corn and good stuff. But,
Daz, what is your winter weather? Like, what is your, like, temperature-wise that's considered y'all's winter?
Okay, well, it doesn't snow here ever. Most of Australia doesn't get snow. But what was I going to say? The last 2 nights were 0 degrees, -1, which Fahrenheit, I think, is 33. I think is freezing point is 0 for us. So I think it's around 33 for you guys in Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
So I did get some wicked frosts, but that's just a matter of running out and trying to cover things. Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty manageable. I'm pretty lucky. And then during the days, it can hover sort of, I don't know, between sort of 8 degrees Celsius and 12 degrees Celsius. I think that's in the 50s in Fahrenheit. If somebody can help me.
I need a calculator for that. A conversion one on Google.
Yeah, I use my friend Google half the time.
Come on up, Monica.
So, yeah, it's all pretty manageable, and it's just a matter of, looking at the warnings and saying, oh, there's a frost coming. All right, well, I need to get out and cover up my chili peppers and the more sensitive young plants and stuff like that.
12 Celsius is 53.6 Fahrenheit.
Awesome. Thanks, Leanne. Yeah, so there you go, which is what it is about it right now. So I just wanted to say, Jade, that was so awesome what you said earlier about only growing what you actually eat. because I'm a big fan of that, and I love pushing that because there's some people that say I grow the such and such plant from only one mountain in such and such country, and it only ripens at this time of year and everything. And what does it taste like? Oh no, I'm not going to eat it. It tastes awful. I'd rather be spending that. Yeah, I'd rather spend all that time and money on something, on a tomato or something that I know the family are going to eat.
Exactly. So, and you don't have to grow everything. Like there are farmers markets and farmers near where you live where you can get the things to preserve and can. You do not have to grow everything that you're going to preserve or can. You don't have to. Don't stress yourself out about it. Right. Support someone else that is growing it and help their families.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm lucky. I get out of a lot of work because I've got a very fussy a family with a fussy palate. So I stick to the very basics, and luckily for me, if I just stick to the very basics in growing, they're common things to grow. They're probably the easier things to grow. A lot less to manage and juggle around, and and then obviously the excess I'll dehydrate. So what you were saying about corn, Jade, was interesting. I have a terrible time. I actually break that rule I've just spoken about here. I have a terrible time with corn because of mice. Mice and earwigs get into my corn and destroy it. But I like to see the corn growing, so I still try and get a few cobs out of it. But if I was to calculate, my time against what I've actually produced, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier for me just to buy peas and corn frozen, and I dehydrate big batches, and I've got it in jars in the pantry and Mylar bags in long-term storage, and I just find it a lot easier to do it that way. But I still, in the case of peas, I just do shelling peas because there's just something about shelling peas and eating fresh peas, and I need that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Jesse and Lisa from Lazy Days Ahead, they did a video a while back about the Houston Farmers Market for their fruits and vegetables. And, we have a farmers market here. It's terribly small, so we have to go an hour away to do it, to Rapid. So, we try to do what we can, obviously, but the one thing that I do miss about not living near Asheville, North Carolina is there was a farmer's market year round, and the farmer's market was year round. And then in the back part was the wholesale department where all the restaurants went. So if you wanted to buy wholesale watermelons, you wanted to buy wholesale tomatoes, potatoes, and you wanted to can them. Like I picture Leanne going to some place like that if she didn't have her own garden. You go back there and you get, like my dad used to get, bushels and bushels of tomatoes, and he would do, I call them sun-dried tomatoes, but you know what I mean, the dehydrator, or he'd freeze them and all that stuff. And that thing would be going for weeks because he was a good little Italian man. And he'd use it in all that stuff, So yeah, I miss that here because we don't have it. But one thing I will say is we try to take advantage of opportunities, and it's a shame they weren't there last year. But the year before, there was a grandmother who had 2 grandchildren. She had sweet corn, and they would pull up in her truck, and the kids had to run the whole thing. The kids had to bag the corn. They had to count the change, all that stuff. And the lady would sit there and go, I'm sorry, if it's taken a little longer, because she's probably dealing with tourists. And she was just like, look, I'm trying to teach them. And I'm like, girl, you take your time. I got all day. Because I just think it's the cutest thing ever. But the thing that I wanted to show you, Daz, this is my second celery in the hydroponics.
Sweet.
The other one is growing, and I want to bring Monica up first. Monica, can you stop picking your nose?
That was the green M&M that I left.
Hi, Monica.
Hello.
So, the one that I was growing in the soil, Daz, in the wintertime, So that one grew up and it's like all different layers. It's not like the celery you get in the store, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very thin and it's all over the place. Is that normal for when you grow your own celery?
You're asking me, the person who's just said that I've failed every year until.
Well, I'll ask Blue next time because she's the one who told me that the bok choy doesn't look like it does when you buy it from the store because they tie it up to get it to look like that bulb. So maybe I need to tie this up.
No, mine does. No, but I tell you what, though. Do you know about blanching celery when you grow it?
Mm-mm.
Something a lot of people miss is that I'm pretty sure the commercial growers do it. Is that they when they grow their celery and a couple of weeks before they pick it, or maybe a little bit longer, they actually tie cardboard around the stalks of the celery in the ground. And that stops the light from getting into the stalks, and it keeps the color, it keeps the flavor, stops it from going bitter. So just when your celery starts to get to a good-looking height, wrap some cardboard around it. A couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I mean, research it, don't quote me, but roughly 3 weeks or so before you harvest it, protect the stalks from light, and you will get better tasting celery.
Good to know. Good night, Appalachian American Homestead. That's good to know. I just want to go back.
Well, what all do you do with the celery? Like, because I have some in the garden now, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So, what are some options for that?
Dehydrate it or
dehydrate it.
Dehydrate.
Yeah.
And you just put it in soups, or what do you use that for?
Or broths.
Okay.
For us, for me here, it's definitely stews, casserole, soups, and then the powder. The powder again goes into soups, stews. If I make bread, I like to, whatever I use, dampen the top of the bread and sprinkle some of the celery powder, dehydrated powder on top of it. Oh, it's so good.
Huh.
So there's a lot of different.
Yeah, it's true. I freeze dried a bunch of celery, and apparently when you freeze dry it, they say that, or I think it was Nikki at Five Dog Farm was saying, storage wise, it's a challenge. I put it in a bag and I'm going to let it sit there for a while and see how it goes. But I've taken dehydrated celery and rehydrated it and put it in like chicken salad.
Oh.
I usually just turn mine into powders and I put it in everything possible you would want celery flavor in, like chicken salad and my air fryer chicken patties and soups and salads and broths and everything else. And then this past season, I actually was making a video for YouTube on vegetable soup, and I didn't want to go to the store because there was a hurricane coming and I had to get this video up. So I actually chopped my celery up and put it in my soup can. So
Nice.
There you go.
Nice. Moderators, thank you so much, but just take a break. Take a break. If you guys, somebody in the chat wants a link, just put link and put the name of the channel that you want, but I want to give them a break because I want them to sit and relax and enjoy. And Andale, I saw that you said that it was completely normal, so thank you. And I know Matthew's Patch had made the comment that celery is a very thirsty crop.
Mm-hmm. You have to water it every day.
Yeah.
Huh.
I've been doing that, and I was afraid it was going to rot.
With you, I've done it indoors, and it fell apart like 3 or 4 weeks in.
Mine when I first, because these are store bought, I did not use.
Well, that's what I use too.
Jesse says we don't understand breaks. We're non-union. The work must continue. So I have seeds, and these are the store bought. And so one of the things that I did was I had put it in water, the first one, and it rotted, and it got slimy and nasty, and I just couldn't take it anymore. So,
Eric.
So I finally I took it and I put it in the
She's
soil.
saying bad dog. I think she's saying bad dog.
Bad, Eric. Bad,
Hey, at
Eric.
least I said bad dog. It could have been a lot worse.
Hi, Monica.
And so, and then I took it, put it in dirt, and it seems to be doing well. This one here is in hydroponics, and it's not rotting like it did on the outside, and that's because the roots. I want to see what the roots are. I haven't looked. That's a good thing to do.
You're on live streaming.
There's one root. It's right there. One there. One there.
Yay.
But it's to the bottom of the basket. But Lisa Colovi, oh my gosh, really trying so hard to keep my fingers from typing. My moderators are sarcastic.
Wait, so is that your celery you just showed? That's the celery?
I have two. That's the second one that I did in the hydroponics. And then I have the other one that is in a coffee can.
So we did celery in the ground, and I did really well with it in the fall last year, and it grew, and it was just gorgeous, and it was like thick, and I was so excited, and I brought it in. I was like, yes, I've got celery. And the kids were like, yuck, Mom, nobody likes celery. And I was like, oh, you guys suck. Okay, I got celery here, and no one would eat it. So I took it and chopped it up and dehydrated it, and then I'll put it in stuff. Like I'll put it in soups and things like that. But I was so mad because I was like making people try it, and they were like, great, celery. And I'm like, but I grew something exciting but then this season I put it in a little bit late, and I think it got too hot and it didn't get enough water because they were growing up and they were pretty, and they were like, now they're like, whoa, and they're all skinny outside, and they're laying down on the ground like little twigs, and they're just sad, and they're just like limp noodles out there.
What was the noise that it made again, please?
Bleh.
Yeah. See, mine are not, they're rigid, but
Yeah. Mine
they
sad.
are very thin.
My garden makes a lot of noises. So is my husband playing video games right now. Apparently he's getting his butt kicked on Fortnite. So
Monica, have you met Jade from Woodlot on Pots yet?
Hi. I think
No,
we swapped stickers maybe.
yeah. And I follow you on
year?
Instagram. So yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, Jade is over 2K followers.
I'm
On
getting close.
Insta.
I'm getting close to my 1K on Instagram. I'm so excited.
There
I'm
you
like
go.
25 people away. I'm watching each one come. I'm like, oh, so excited.
I hit 2K like last week. Didn't announce it.
Very cool.
I'm just excited that I want my Instagram to hit 1K before the YouTube channel does.
I
like
know why.
Like competition between me and Eric, but he doesn't know it's even a competition. It's just me in my head. So like the minute it hits like one on YouTube, one on Instagram, I'll be like,
Sandy grows her celery in PVC pipes for protection, and our Georgia suburban homestead, here I am trying to get to 500. Is that 500 friends on YouTube, or is that 500 followers on Instagram?
Did you say Georgia suburban? Why have I never met another Georgia homesteader?
Because
Like,
you too busy hanging out with us northern girls.
Yeah, and my little Texas princess down
I was
below.
gonna say Monica's not northern.
I know, but we have
my blood. I have Maryland blood. I just
Yeah, she does.
Well, technically, Maryland's not northern.
true, but according
True.
to every Texan here, anything above the Red River is a complete Yankee and a Northerner. So apparently, I'm a
According
Northerner.
to the girl
I'm in
that's
Georgia.
above the Mason-Dixon line, you're still
I
southern.
know.
No, and her accent comes out like late at night when we're shooting. It's like, okay, am I here with like all New Yorkers? You got Lisa getting straight New Yorker, and then you got Monica over here talking Baltimore. I'm like, oh,
Baltimore.
Lord. have-
yeah,
Lord
Ryan.
help me.
Ryan will. It was like a joke. People used to say that to me all the time when I was in Connecticut. They're like, "Oh my gosh, Lisa just said that. Did you hear that? Sounds like my wife just got jumped off the subway." I heard it tonight a bunch of times, quite honestly.
Hey,
But,
Monica, do they say croutons in Baltimore? Well, she has off the mic.
There it is. Sorry, I have to mute in between because, well, Eric over there. No, I don't know. My dad says croutons. So if it was a Baltimore thing, he would have said croutons. But no, I think he says croutons. He does say zinc and wash and all the other Baltimore things, but he says croutons. So
yeah, because my husband, before we were dating, he said croutons. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Croutons? That's serious.
I'm like, huh?
That's weird.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, Leanne, what are you growing for your own food?
Well, it's nice of you to ask. I think I might have a video on that.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just kidding.
We know you have a video. We all got videos.
And it's like, well, it's my first garden video, so I feel like it's my baby, and I'm exposing myself to the world because now you know what's growing in my garden, and it's going to all fail now. But anyway, we got garlic.
Welcome to my world.
I know. We got garlic. We got sugar snap peas, onions, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, lettuce, Swiss chard, beets, carrots, tomatoes, peppers that will soon be going in. We have glass corn for the first time. I'm excited about that, actually. Indian corn, green beans that my husband refused to put in, but he still did, since I still have his full shelf from last year. Yeah, we drink water. But anyway.
And Troy said subtle, Leanne, subtle.
Then we got 50 pounds of potatoes out there and candy onions and cucumbers and zucchini behind my back. I'm probably missing a couple things. And the strawberries that got eaten by the deer.
I gave you a fix for that. I was pretty proud of that too.
And your lettuce that I'm stealing, Leanne. You forgot your lettuce that I'm stealing.
I thought I said lettuce.
Did you?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Well, I guess I was just looking at the water, or however you say it.
Water.
Water.
I say water.
They say wash out here.
Water.
Yeah. I remember sitting in a meeting, and the person that I was sitting in a meeting with was from where I'm living. And I went over to a family member of that person and said, I don't get it. Where's the wash come from? She says, I don't know. I ask all the time. I never get a straight answer.
I do have some wineberry patch. And we have lots of black raspberry bushes all around the farm.
Nice. That's good because I bought blackberries today. And
I know what you did.
$24 worth of blackberries.
So everybody needs to go watch her Jam It Up June video just so she can make some money to pay for those suckers.
Yeah. $24 for blackberries. Go ahead,
she
Dan.
needs 2,000 views on that video to make money.
Can I just say to anyone out there that's laughing at Lisa spending $24 on blackberries, I've got videos on how to propagate blackberries for free and not spending $24 on them. Wow,
I need to
Lisa.
find blackberry bushes, Daz. I found raspberry. I have no blackberry. I went to the nursery. They didn't have any.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
My raspberries from Sandy are doing amazing. My elderberry looks amazing. My fall gold raspberry that I planted has come out of dormancy. The other one that I bought from the big box store looks dead.
Good thing it wasn't Jam It Up February. Y'all will be in trouble. Because you can't go out and spend all that money. You'd be like, sorry, Ryan, you can't eat this month because whatever we don't have it in here, February 2023 is going to be skimping.
It's going to be skimping. Good night, Sandy. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I
was
couldn't
confused
believe
on
it.
where you were going with that, Monica, but I'm with you now.
The $50 February thing. Yeah, people be like,
Yeah.
And that's
As
why I was
far as
thinking
I was
March Canning
snapping.
Madness.
the
So,
bad thing is that everybody's going to be eating jam in February because that's all they got in their pantry.
so Jade, what everybody's talking about is the Old Swedes Farm and the Cow Emporium started a challenge on YouTube, and many of us are a part of it. And it's $50 February, and so we have from when the challenge started until February of 2023 to grow all our food, and then we get $50 for a couple for February, and we're not to buy anything. And so we will be meatosauruses here because my lettuce is not being zhuzhed enough, apparently. And so there's going to be, everybody's preserving and raising meat and everything like that. It's called $50 February 2023.
Bless
And
you.
bless you. And so a lot of us are joining in on it. So I was telling Rich the other day about, he was saying, we did meat birds, we did that. And I'm like, dude, it's going to be a while before we harvest anything because I got meat birds, I got pheasants, I got vegetables, and then we'll be done in September. So, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Our meat birds are getting close. No, our Georgia suburban homestead, we do not keep bees yet. However, we were gifted a hive, and it is on the list to get the rest of the supplies we need. So that way we will try to catch a swarm. Not so much for honey, but for pollinators this year. And then we will focus on honey later on. Obviously, we're being hopeful to catch a swarm. Oh, I got to be done on January 31st. Yeah, of course. Obviously, I'll be done by then. But there'll be nothing harvested in the middle of this brutal winter here, dude. Good night, Don Ray B. Hey, Hedgehog's Homestead. Monica, what are you growing?
She need to work on that button.
You need to yell bad dog. That's what I do when I push the button. And then you guys go, I can't hear you, like the podcast.
I'll speak for Monica. Well, I'm growing kids and more kids and more kids.
And you forgot the pigs and the
And
chickens.
pigs and chickens.
And I'm growing
And
a
the
football
beef.
team.
Where's the beef?
Oh, goodness gracious. I cannot. This button does not want to work. I don't
Hey,
like this.
Huga.
This
Um,
melon is driving me nuts.
I totally get it. I have the same problem, and you guys laugh at me all the time. So Jade, Monica is gorgeous and beautiful. She has a football team of children.
I have 8. I have 8,
God
but
bless you. Good
only
Lord.
7 live here. And the oldest of those 7 that live here is usually gone with his girlfriend or whatever. But she's a really good follower of us on YouTube, though. So hopefully he doesn't take her out on Thursday nights when we do our live. So she's always following us, and he takes her out, and he never watches us. Anyway, no. So in my garden, I am growing. I still have a bunch of greens right now. So I've got some mustard greens. I just pulled my onions. I have cabbage still in the ground that I'm picking one by one because I'm trying to enjoy them. Because if I harvest all of my cabbage, then they'll inevitably, some of them will go bad before we eat them. I've got green beans and some zucchini squash and a bunch of tomatoes and hot peppers and sweet peppers and cucumbers and melons. That's what I got right now. What does that say? I gotta go. Have a great night.
What?
Bye, Leanne.
Husband's home. I can hear him diving into the stromboli I cooked.
Oh, go for it.
Bye, Leanne.
Bye,
Bye.
Leanne. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks.
Okay, I feel really judged by Rich right now. He's over.
I
in the
was
chat
going to
judging me.
say, Rich is, let's just face it, Rich is jealous.
I did get more ducks yesterday, though. So
That's why I'm laughing, because you told me about that, but I'm laughing because he...
the bad part is, Eric, I told Eric last night on our live that we did get 6 more ducklings. He just didn't think I was for real. And then when I went out there and was moving the ducklings, he was like, "Are you serious? You actually got them?" And I was like, "Yes, I told you we got more ducklings." He was like, "No, you didn't really tell me." I was like, "I did tell you. You just didn't listen to my words."
Hang on a second. I just want to say hey to Connor's Curiosity.
Hi.
And also everybody's saying goodnight to Leanne. Goodnight, our Okie Homestead. I asked what the chat was growing, and Jesse from Lazy Days Ahead said all he's growing is a big belly, LOL. But after our shopping trip today, $419 and no meat. And seriously, we bought 2 bags of tortilla chips. The rest was just canned vegetables and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told Monica, I said,
Ew.
whatever ducks you get, we'll feed your football team.
Yeah. Well, I have a lady coming tomorrow to actually, you know how like you can never get rid of roosters? Like it's a curse. You get like a bunch of babies that hatch out, and then you inevitably have like 10 chicks, and you get like 8 roosters and 2 hens. Well, I have like extra roosters running around. I've been threatening them like on a daily basis. I go out there and I'm like, "You're going soon, mister, if you don't shut your trap." Well, Eric's been threatening him as well. And I had a lady reach out to me yesterday, and she was like, "Hi, I got your card from your brother-in-law. I was wondering, I need like 2 to 3 roosters. Can I buy some?" And I'm like, "Lady, you can come just get them. Just come to my house. I will grab you a clutch of them. Whatever you can put in your arms, throw them in a bag, put them over your shoulder, and you can roll out." So yeah, I'm excited because I don't even think I'm going to make her pay. I just want her to come and get them. I'll give her a net and everything. She can catch them for me. And she's going to be taking some roosters tomorrow, but she wants them to like make her eggs fertile. So I'm like, go for it. Go for it. But yeah.
What is Cullaloo?
What?
Somebody said they were growing Cullaloo. I think it was our Georgia. Hang on. Our Georgia Suburban Homestead said Cullaloo. What is Cullaloo?
That's going to be some Georgian thing.
Never heard of that.
Barbie
I was about to say, ain't no Georgia thing over here, girl. I don't know what a Cullaloo is. Never met one.
Maybe that's what you use to tie your man bun up with.
Cullaloo.
Yeah.
Casey, you forgot to say you were growing quinoa. I thought you were growing
Amaranth.
quinoa, Casey.
Thank you, Monica, for putting that. Yes, I actually planted it June 1st.
Oh.
How about you, Lisa? Aren't we doing this together? Jade, who are you doing the collaboration with?
Richie Husky, I think it's.
We're all doing it together. Okay. Yes. I planted mine June 1st. And then I found out that I should have planted it in my greenhouse. So sorry, Lisa. I just have to bitch and moan for a second.
Hey, 12 stones. Watch your mouth, boy.
Casey.
See, it happens when Monica comes on the screen. I've been really good before.
Family friendly.
But
no, you're not blaming me.
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna mute myself.
My greenhouse gets so freaking hot, and like I can't get the circulation. And then I was reading what to grow in like dry heat, and they said quinoa, and I'm like, well, I just wasted all that area in my garden for quinoa, and I could have just put it in this stupid greenhouse. But that's all I had to say. I'll mute myself now.
It's probably safe, Casey. Okay, LP said they were growing the not a bad influence, Troy. I get a bad rap now, y'all. I'm getting a bad rap. LP said they're growing amaranth, which is for the greens, because it's like a spinach thing. There it is, a worm season spinach substitute. Here in Texas, I found out from a friend that you can grow, it's called Malabar Spinach. And Malabar spinach is heat tolerant. I mean, like we've had some 90-degree days, and this spinach is just vining up, climbing and living its best life out in that garden. Have you ever had it before, Daz? Do you know what I'm talking about? Malabar spinach?
I know it, but I haven't grown it.
It tastes delish.
It is.
And I was really excited. I've got like 5 plants. I'm so excited.
Awesome. Yeah, it's really well. It's like what's the word? Like it's well regarded. It's
Yeah.
it's quality.
Alicia's here from Country Mama Musings, and she said, "Hello, friends, and Mr. Potty Mouth."
Great. He's Mr.
Alicia,
Potty Mouth, and I'm
no,
Miss Bad Influence.
Right. Alicia, don't call Daz a potty mouth. That wasn't very nice.
Yeah, Malabar spinach. I love it.
Hey, Jennifer Ainger, Good Times Homestead with Jen and
I've heard
Steve.
people talk about the Malabar spinach. Like recently, it's been everybody's talking about the Malabar spinach.
Hey, Brenda. Really?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I don't know. The
It was
spinach
easy to grow.
Go ahead.
It's super easy to grow. Like I grew it from seeds and I didn't kill it. So
Wow.
Oh, I
Yeah.
need to go get some seeds then.
super easy.
Oh, north of Atlanta.
Somebody said if you eat it raw, it turns into slime in your mouth. Oh, that's gross.
And I'm the potty mouth.
We eat it in our salads. I don't
Hey, Weibel Family
But it's
Adventures.
slime.
I'm going to go to the chat real quick. Hey, Blue Self-Reliance. Oh, Blue, I'm glad you're here. Blue, you know how you told me about the bok choy and the greenhouses and they tie it up and they make it look all pretty? Is that what they do with celery also? Hey, Redbird Farm. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, I'm looking real quick here.
My bok
Jesse's
choy bulbs up.
What's that?
My bok choy bulbs up.
Mine didn't. That was the thing when I grew it hydroponically. I was waiting for the bulb and I was like, and I waited too long and then I saw the flower and I said, yikes.
Yeah.
It was still good.
I'm supposed to be growing it at the moment, but I forgot.
She said, yup. That's fascinating. I'm going to tie my celery up and put it in the cardboard tube like Daz said. It could be like kudzu. Oh, kudzu is brutal. You guys are all quiet all of a sudden.
I'm reading chat. I'm reading chat on the other screen at the moment, trying to keep up.
Ciao, Rich. Have a good night.
Me too. That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, we're going to get going soon. We got about 20-something minutes and we'll be heading out. But
I just have to keep it on mute because Eric's out there flipping out because apparently he's getting his butt kicked again. He's out there like hollering at these boys. It's like never ending. The bad part is that he plays these games with my three middle kids. So you got a 13, almost 14, 12, and 10-year-old playing. And then they're playing in the like internet world with their other friend who's 13. And Eric is yelling at these jokers like he's going to fight them. And then I'm like, Eric, you're yelling at these children. One of these children is not even your kid. He's like, are you kidding me? Get over there, Gary. Get over there. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I like talk to his mom. I'm like, hey, you know, my husband yells at your son like all the time. She's like, I know, it's good he's playing together. I'm like, yeah. Okay.
I didn't know that, Mountain Grandma, that it's a wonderful medicinal plant because I always think of the Allstate commercial where they were like creeping across North Carolina and the guy went, kudzu, 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 kudzu. Because kudzu just creeps across all the roads. Like the roads get really narrow.
I'm a foreigner. I have no idea.
It's just an invasive green plant like the one on my background. So, and like, you know, it's like it looks dead when the first frost, and then in summer, you know, in the spring it grows up, and by the middle of the summer it's almost to the yellow line on the roads. It's crazy.
Okay.
It's pretty invasive. I just want to go back real quick. Troy is not being nice tonight. I thought we liked him.
He is relentless. It is constant. Him and Rich is gone. Hey, 12 Stones Ranch, if you email me, I'll try to meet up with you and maybe give you some of the seeds that I have because I think I still have some seeds left. I'll double check. But if you want, you can have some seeds that I have because, I mean, you're literally up the road.
Wow.
Because I think 12 Stones Ranch is almost as close as Carmen is over at Jesus Loving Homesteader. But they're opposite from us. I'm like right in the middle between them. So he's probably maybe 30 minutes from me.
Yeah, Mountain Grandma, it totally grows over buildings. You would not believe the fields in North Carolina. Unbelievable. Kudzu is out of control.
Wow. Okay.
I've never heard kudzu. I now have to go look it up.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've never heard of it.
Wow. Yeah. We lived in Western North Carolina, but at the time before we lived here, we lived in Mitchell County, North Carolina, which was a Tennessee border county. And, you know, it was a higher elevation. Notice the pattern there. And kudzu was all over the place. And like the truck in front of you would go flying and the kudzu would flap out and flap back. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
I can't believe Blue is up. She's getting stuff ready. Blue's in the UK, Jade. So it's like 3 a.m.
Oh my.
She says you should hear what Tanny and I call each other when we play our games. He uses me as his meat shield. Troy, I'm not sensitive at all. We can fight later.
I have to run. Sorry, I have to go.
No worries, my friend.
Yeah, I've got 2 loads. I've been looking outside, and the cloud's moving in. It's just after 1 p.m. here, and it's supposed to rain tonight.
Yep.
And I've been watching the clouds moving in, and I've got 2 loads of washing that I really need to hang out, get that happening. So I better run and get that done.
No worries at all, Daz. Thank you so much for coming by and chatting with us.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for having me, as always. Thank you for asking.
Hi, Daz.
And
Bye,
everyone,
Daz.
take care. Good luck with the lettuce, you 2 up there. Hang on, I'm trying to point. Like I said, I have no idea how I do it, so I can't give you any tips other than throw water at it. Yeah, I just lucky, I guess. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Daz. Thanks for being here. So we are, so obviously we're doing a lot of meat because we do really well with that. We've got the 12 pheasants. Oh my gosh, don't do this to me.
I wanted to come say hi to you. Look at that.
Oh my gosh. Hold on.
Say hi, Lisa. We only have her for another couple days. Say hi, Princess. Princess Leia. She's the sweetest little baby.
And she snores and she snorts.
And she snorts. And
Has she done any reverse sneezes yet?
Where she like toots when she does it?
No, where she looks like she's going.
No. But she does like toot and sneeze at the same time. She'll, toot a lot.
That's a bulldog thing, and apparently you don't want them near the free sawdust pile you got for bedding for your animals, by the way, either.
She's got 3 more days here. Look at her breathing. She's just like, I can barely breathe. My nose is so tiny.
I want one. Do you know that Yogi, we used to call him Big Fella? Our old English bulldog who passed away. That's what we named our channel. We used to call him Hey Big Fella, and we always joked that we were going to get a Frenchie and call it Little Fella. We were going to have Big Fella and Little Fella.
Oh, okay. Take me down off the big picture.
Okay.
I don't want to be big. I just make them.
So sweet. So we've got, meat birds. They're going soon in a few weeks.
They stink so bad. Oh, they stink.
It's like having 30-something Jabbas out there.
It's disgusting.
And that's why I put a separate space for the turkeys, the little turkeys, right? So the beat birds are out there pecking through the fence, and the turkeys are like, hi. And the meat birds are like, let me eat your eyeball.
Yeah.
And then they're gone, and the turkeys jump around, and they're like, Elizabeth.
I love the turkeys. I just got those 2 weeks ago, and they have quickly become my favorite animal to be around. I think
they're Eric's favorite too. We love our turkeys.
Love them.
Here you go.
They're laid back. They're laid back. That's what's so nice about them. And so we have Elizabeth, who that's part of our breeding pairs, and the males decided that they were going to mate her while she's been in the nesting box. So the poor thing is missing feathers. And then I go in there and I brought her a little feed, brought her a little water, thought I'd be nice and spoil her. She clamped down on my finger. She didn't just keep biting. She clamped down on my finger and I said, "Can I have it back?" And she just sat there like this.
Huh.
And I said, "Can I have my finger back?" And then I looked under her and one of the chicken eggs I put under her disappeared. Now there's turkey eggs under her. And we've got one more week to see if the two chicken eggs hatch, but we'll see. And then we've got the pheasants. The pheasants are Monica knows. She and Casey, they've heard all about them. They are crazy. And we looked at the peepers, and we were originally going to do the peepered stuff. But when we looked at the pins for the peepers, the pins look a little large. Oh, Monica, she just bailed.
She had the best frozen face too, and I'm never fast enough with my camera.
I know it. Yeah, the meat birds they're not so much mean, they're gross. Would you say, Jade?
They're they stink and they poop a lot, and then they lay in the poop and they just stink. I honestly think they stink worse than pigs, and pigs stink too.
Amen.
There are only a handful of things they care about, and that is to eat, drink, sleep, and poop. That is all they want to do. They don't care about you. They just want to eat, sleep, drink, and poop.
Good night, Troy. Yeah, and Monica, I see you back there, but I don't see a camera. So let me know when you're ready, and I'll put you on. Yeah, they stink. They stink something awful with the protein in their feed.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so you remember the story about that I said to you was, I don't know why people use all these chicken tractors.
You would if you had them.
Right. The other thing is that, well, we don't have flat land or grass, so that's why we're building pens, Mm-hmm. And so I'm in that meat bird pen tonight, and they're spilling feed, and it was pouring rain earlier today while we were out. No lazy days ahead. Jade does not have a YouTube channel. She has an Instagram, and I pinned it to the chat. If it's not there, let me know.
Now you guys make me feel like I need a YouTube channel. Even though I don't know what I would talk about on there.
Hit me up. We'll talk about it. But yeah, I mean, and I'm down there and I'm slipping in the feed and all that stuff. And I'm like, But you know what, Casey, the best part about it? They're gone. Well, we have a variety of breeds. So we have 2 Cornish cross that we have to butcher on their own because they're not going to make it much longer. The Red Rangers and the Royal Grey Broilers are a little longer. So no worries, Monica. Thank you so much. She said, sorry, y'all. Have a great night. Love the conversation. So nice to meet you, Jade. Love your IG page. But yeah, so if you could do a chicken tractor, it's a lot easier. We do a pen because we don't have the fresh grass or the flat ground. And whatever we do have, we try to give to the pigs. So
what will you do? Just put something on the ground where they're pooping? Or how will that work?
Well, we spend money on shavings.
Okay.
And so we throw shavings in. We built a shelter for them that's open because they're only here during the warmer months, and we throw shavings in there. But as you can imagine, it is disgusting.
Yeah.
But they're only here, I think.
It's like 7 weeks.
Well, they're here longer. The Cornish cross is about 8 weeks. And the Red Rangers and the Royal Grey Broilers will be here until about 12, 13, 14 weeks. So once they're gone, I'll clean everything out and I'll remove the divider, and the turkeys will have the entire pen. So that way the turkeys have room to grow and they'll be able to stay there until they're processed. Good night, Monica. Thank you. So yeah, so definitely. So we'll do that. And then the pheasants, I've got all the wire woven on the chicken wire, and I have one more panel to wire together, but I need Ryan because we have to pull it tight, and then I'll wire that together, and we just have to build the front. And so then the meat birds have to be in the brooder for about 5 weeks. So I think they have another week or so left, and then we have to get ready for farrowing. So it's crazy.
I would love that. I think if I had to choose a job where money didn't matter, it would be to just have baby pigs all the time and sell them. I think that would be so fun.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think right now the biggest nerve-wracking part is the fact that it's new and we're learning. And so like they said that with Kuni pigs, it was really hard to tell heat in them when they've never had litters before. So it took us a while to figure that out, and we finally figured it out. Then I used my resources, right? I took the boar in there at cycle time, and he wasn't as interested as he was the first time. And so we're hoping they're all set. So we'll see how it goes. But it's all a learning experience. It's reality. Hey, Scott, rambling with the Brums. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Do you guys in the chat have any questions for Jade or Casey or myself?
Meat time.
What's that?
I said meat time for Lisa. Meat.
Oh yeah, you know me. I'm growing some meat over here. Meatosaurus, right?
Meatosaurus Rex.
While we're waiting for questions to come up, Jade, I just want to thank you for coming on tonight because it's really been a pleasure having you tonight.
Thank you.
We love some Jade.
Aww.
Absolutely. And it's so great to have somebody on who is doing the same thing that we're doing. And Lazy Days Ahead said Jade needs to start a YouTube channel. But here's a question. Do any particular meat birds taste better than others? When living in Asia, I found that the almost wild breed tasted far nicer than commercial chicken, though the meat was far tougher. So my experience is the Cornish cross will deliver a delicious taste in a big bird, but they're disgusting to raise. Whereas the Red Ranger, I won't talk about the gray broiler because they're new to me this year. They take longer and have a more flavorful meat, but they are not as bulky as the Cornish cross. Jade, your thoughts?
I have not raised any meat birds other than the Cornish cross, but I have talked to others that have raised Freedom Rangers. And they say once you taste the meat of a Freedom Ranger, you never go back to the Cornish cross because it tastes like chicken. Like it's just a taste so much better than the Cornish cross. So eventually I think I will give those a try.
I've not done the Freedom Rangers. I've done the Red Rangers and I've done Rudd Rangers, which are, from my understanding, different hatcheries version of the Freedom. And so they are where they more equal breast and white and dark meat and more flavorful, and we've been very happy with them. I will say this, that Cornish cross chicks as well as Cornish cross chickens, as they grow, we have a lot more fatality with those than we do with the Red Rangers. The Royal Grey Broilers were new to us because most of you know that we kind of got a little freaked out knowing with the bird stuff going around, the cinnamon vanilla of the birds. We got nervous and grabbed whatever stores had. And so Royal Grey is new to us, but we were told that Royal Grey would also have a balance between white and dark meat. And obviously you raise them later. The thing that I like about the Red Rangers is that Cornish cross will sit at the feeder, eat. Red Rangers won't. They forage. That's what I like about them. Congratulations, Country Mama. That's awesome.
I think that's what I've noticed too with the broilers is that's what they do. They will lay at the feeder and just be there all day with their head in the food. And to move the chicken tractor, that's really the only exercise that they're getting twice a day is you making them get up and move.
Right. And, we tried the 12 hours on and 12 hours off with our Red Rangers when we first got them because I read all about that,
Yeah.
The Red Rangers, I quickly had to give them back their feed 24 hours a day.
Because they're so active.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Cornish cross I look at and I go, dude, you and me need to take a walk.
And that their poor legs are just so big and their bodies are so big. It's kind of sad, that's what they're raised to do.
That's what I don't like about them. I will be honest.
Yeah. It's like a Frankenstein bird.
It sure is. Hey, Matthews Patch. No worries. Christy Baum said, how about Brahma? Do you mean Brahma Chicken or isn't there a cattle named Brahma? Or is it Brahmin? I always screw that up.
I know the Brahma is a dual purpose bird, so I'm sure people do eat those.
Yeah, I know that one of the things is with dual purpose birds, you have to butcher them or process them before they start laying.
Oh.
Right? Because you don't want them to start laying eggs. So usually about 16 weeks you want them to go. And she said, yes, chicken. I don't have any experience with Brahma.
Me either.
Casey, have you ever heard about that?
I have, because I've been looking into more dual purpose birds when I get them, instead of, as much as I've heard good things about the Freedom Rangers and the Cornish Cross, you can't really grow those on your homestead, so it's not really being self-reliable, in my opinion, even though raising them is still good. But the Brahmas, I have heard that they're good to have as the laying group and as your meat birds. But other than that, I don't know too much into it. I know that it probably will be Brahmas that we get.
Good point.
But other than that, no.
Casey,
I hadn't thought about that.
Casey, you brought up a really good point because Jade and I had a conversation via messaging about, I learned that broad-breasted turkeys are developed
In a factory.
Right, and to be so broad-breasted, right, for the meat that they produce, that they cannot conceive naturally because of their body shape, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So found that out after I bred my bourbon reds. Good thing I had them. But I heard that and I went, oh my gosh. So I was telling Jade about it. And the same thing with Cornish Cross. You can't do that either. So that's a really good point that you bring up because I'm just dumb luck that I have the bourbon reds, because I would really look stupid on YouTube if I was sitting there going, I've got some broad-breasted turkeys and I'm going to breed them. So good thing I had bourbon reds. But seriously, that's a good point because you bring up a really good point about self-sustainability and ability to hatch. And I'm going to look into that. So thank you so much.
Well, with down here in the Georgia, we've had the cinnamon vanilla pretty hard to where, Jade, we can't even buy chickens or turkeys or ducks here in Georgia because of possibly getting fined.
Wow.
Because of the, cinnamon vanilla for all the birds. So if that was to happen, like when we do have animals, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm relying completely on Murray McMurray or whoever I'm getting it from to get the Cornish Cross, even though at first that's who I totally thought I was going to get because all the YouTubers talk about it, all the Instagrammers talk about it. But then they were like, yeah, but you have to get it from us again next year. and then the
Yeah.
year after that.
That's a
but I
good
was like,
point.
I need to find something that if I had to. Now I know that all laying hens, before I get, crazy comments, I know all laying hens are not really meant for meat. You can, they're just not as juicy as the Cornish cross. But I mean, you think about it. Okay, a Brahmin will lay how many eggs in a year? You have that many. And of course, if you have roosters, you have that many chances to have a chicken that 15, 16 weeks after that is meat for your family. Yeah, constantly, like a churning fact, like KFC. Come and get your
I think
chicken.
you've changed my brain right now. I really do. Like I
Oh,
hadn't
wow.
even thought about that.
Seriously, Casey,
Yeah.
mind blown right now. Mind blown.
Well, thank you. See, I think of these things because I sit with Lisa and Alicia and Monica when we do our podcast. And one thing that I love about homesteaders is if you don't know something or haven't done something, usually there's somebody in your inner circle that has done it and listening and getting the tips and tricks. And I have gotten so much information, which is why I did the research about the chickens from the three ladies that do have chickens. Now, Alicia, if you're still in here, I know you're not growing them for meat. But I think I want to think of long term for the animals that I have. I am doing a CSA now, so I guess that's it's still supporting and somewhat self-sustainable because you're supporting them.
Now that you're saying this, like this last year, we were able to get the broilers on sale because it was fall and they weren't going to, like, they were getting too big for the stores. So we got them for like $1 a piece.
Nice.
Well, this year, I think more people are changing the way they're thinking, and we couldn't find them for $1 each. So when I saw that one of the farm stores nearby had them because somebody didn't pick them up, I just jumped on it because I wasn't finding meat birds in the store.
Right.
And I wasn't paying the shipping prices to get it from a hatchery because it's expensive to get them shipped to you. So
yeah,
and I mean that's a good way to think in the future, is to have that backup in the pen already.
Right. I mean, just in case. Now, I have read that even the Brahmins don't have that good of breast meat on the outside of everything as a Cornish cross. I didn't do too much research on the Freedom Rangers, even though I have heard of the Freedom Rangers. But, chicken soup, shredded chicken.
Yeah.
I mean, worst comes to worst, let's not be bougie on whether it's dark meat or light meat. You know what I'm saying? Let's just shred up some chicken and make tacos. But yeah, no, I same thing with the turkeys. That's when me and Lisa were talking is about the turkeys too. That the broad-breasted that a lot of big YouTubers push can't reproduce.
Yeah.
So if you can't reproduce, you are on my payroll because every animal is on a payroll. And if you're not producing for me, then I got to let you go. You can go work for the farm down the street. So that's what I'm trying to find, ones that will produce, and buying a breeding pair or having at least a rooster, because I do know that roosters fight like most men, and being able to produce the meat that we eat year after year without paying the crazy amount of shipping price. Like they were wanting for Georgia. This was before the cinnamon vanilla happened with the birds. And we were actually allowed to buy birds. I was looking at one of the big hatcheries. I won't say their name. I won't call them out. But they wanted almost $275 for shipping to Georgia. And I'm like, well, I could go to the store and buy full chickens in my freezer for that. Like, that doesn't seem like a smart decision. So,
that's a Cornish cross right there, 7 pounds.
I was about to say, that's like
beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Big thighs, big breasts, beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys. We have not had it delivered from the post office. We've not had orders for a reason, and that's because sometimes we have trouble getting packages, let alone live animals. And so what we've always done is ordered from our feed store during chick days, and then he will call me. He gives me an extra 24 hours notice, a 24-hour guarantee, excuse me. He tells me the date to come pick him up, and that way he deals with the post office. I'm
and
fine
any
with that.
fatalities, because some chicks, they don't make it through the mail, and I don't
Right.
like that idea. So I don't want to put them through that. I don't
Right.
have to.
Agreed, because I'll tell you what happened, Jade. When we got our first batch of Cornish Cross last year, it was warm here.
Exactly.
Guess what? They arrived on the day that it was in the teens. We had ordered 30 of them. 10 of them were dead right off the bat.
Exactly.
We went to a big box store to buy, I don't know, 10 or 15 more, and we still lost a bunch more. And it's like, with laying hens, we never had that issue. So it's
Right.
just bizarre. You know what I mean? But, well, guys, we are over the 2-hour mark. So I just want to throw that out there because it's always fun to talk with everybody. But I know it's super late by Casey and Jade. So it's super late. So I just want you guys to know I really appreciate you for being here tonight talking about an important subject.
Mhm.
Jade, it was a pleasure to have you. Casey,
Thank
you as
you.
well.
Absolutely, boo thing.
Thanks for having me. It was fun. I was nervous,
That's
and I don't
fun.
know why I was nervous.
Well, see, now you've been peer pressured to make a YouTube channel.
Hey,
So
Maddie.
I'll have to think about it.
We need it up by next Friday, and then we'll put
My
the link
kids
out.
never have clothes on. That's the only problem. Is I will be in front of the screen and there's going to be a streaker behind me. That's going to be the problem.
You're going to learn how to edit real quick. I'll tell you that right now because I have that problem and I don't have children.
I was about to say, my brother is the same way, and he's 32, so it's all right.
Exactly. All right, everybody in the chat, take good care. Thanks so much for being here tonight. Daz said, I'm back. You did well, Jade. But really,
Yeah.
thank you. And Jade, you're always welcome. Casey, you know you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
But Jade, you're always welcome. And everybody, I pinned Jade's Instagram account to go follow it. And I will also, after this live, I will throw it in the description box of the live so you can go check her out. Okay.
Thank
So-
you.
No problem. Well, everybody, thanks so much. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye, y'all.